and welcome to season 1 of the official P&O Cruises podcast, Heart to Heart with me, Amy Hart. I am so excited to be hosting this podcast. Some of you may know that I used to be cabin crew and my favourite thing was meeting new people, learning about their lives, asking them questions. So hosting this is an absolute dream come true. Across the series, we'll be meeting some well-known faces and we'll definitely learn a lot more about them. So what are we waiting for? Let's go and meet them. Today, I'm joined by two amazing guests, Stephen Mulhern and Jonny Wilkes. Now, Stephen Mulhern, you'll know him from Britain's Got More Talent, from Ant and Dec's Saturday Night Takeaway, In for a Penny, but he's also a comedian and a magician as well. Jonny Wilkes is a performer, he's an entertainer, he was the youngest guy ever to have his own show in Blackpool, and he also started Soccer Aid with his best friend, Robbie Williams, and to date, they've raised over £100 million. Let's see what they've got to say.
And we are here.
We are here.
What a treat.
We are here.
Amy Hart, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Very good.
It's a very showbiz name, isn't it? Amy Hart.
Amy Hart. I know. I'm not.
And I
gonna
like
change
it's
it.
called Heart to Heart.
Yes.
Is it your real name?
Yes. It's my
Oh,
real
wow.
name. And I've always said I wouldn't change it when I got married because there's only one Amy Hart. There's also a.
But your husband's gutted, isn't he?
I know. Yeah. Yeah. He's very upset. He's very upset. So Stephen is a comedian, a magician, and a TV presenter. Catchphrase,
Yeah.
Saturday Night Takeaway.
Yeah.
We love it. We love it. And Jonny is a singer, a performer, and a producer who's got also the Wilkes Academy, very prestigious performing arts school.
Thank you. Yeah.
I went down there, didn't I, the other week?
You did.
I didn't realise how big it was and also how many students he has.
Yeah.
And it's incredible because, you know, I know lots of P&O cruise ship shows have got some of your students on, and it is like a breeding ground for new up-and-coming stars of the future. It's so impressive what he's got.
I know a lot of young people who are very into like theatre, and it's one of the schools that when you say like where you're auditioning, it's always on that list.
Oh, that's nice. It's nice. We just had our 10th birthday, actually. It's our 10th anniversary.
Oh.
I know, it's amazing. There's nothing better in life for me now to watch young talent coming through. And there's nothing nice when you go into like a West End show or you go on board a cruise ship and you see they're trained at Wilkes Academy. It gives me the most fulfillment I've ever done anything in my career, really.
So how do you two know each other? Like, how did you meet? What's
We've
the
known
story?
each other for a long time. So we're with the same management company, but we became friends, not through them, but through Jonny doing his performing and me. Well, our paths kept crossing, didn't they?
Yeah.
We were never in the same show, interestingly.
Yeah.
But I knew of Jonny. He knew of me, and that was before any TV and that sort of stuff. So it's like we've grown up together. And we always said, didn't we, let's work together.
Yeah.
I've always been a massive admirer of Stephen's work. And I think Stephen, likewise, he's like me in my stuff that I've done. And every time we saw each other, whether it was backstage at like this morning or somebody's went, we've got to work together.
Yeah.
We've got to do something together. So we'd only see each other like at, say, our office Christmas party for our management company. And then I remember being, when I first came through, my first show I ever did, and I was 17, it was at Blackpool Pleasure Beach.
Youngest person ever to have their own show.
Thank you, Amy. I used to love a show called Mystique, which was in the Blackpool Pleasure Beach, which was fronted by a magician called Russ Stevens.
Yeah.
And I love this show.
Yeah.
It used to mesmerise me, and I've always been intrigued in magic. So every time I saw Stephen, I'd be like, because he knows everything about magic. He's amazing at magic. So I always wanted to recreate a kind of an all singing, dancing illusion show.
Yeah.
So that's what it came about.
And the funniest thing of all is, when I just said about our paths never crossed, because we were in different venues. Jonny was in Blackpool and I was in Buckingham Palace. That's why. No, but here's the deal, right? Jonny is amazing at all the dancing and singing side of things, whereas I deliver all the magic stuff.
Yeah.
So if you combine the two, that's how Astonishing was first came to life. And we've had 5 incredible years with P&O Cruises. And then the entertainment managers came forward and said, look, we want to do something else. The customers, they love what you've delivered, but can you deliver another show that is as good as Astonishing? So we went away for about another 6 months, and then we came back to them and said, look, we've got an idea where we're going to do a completely different magic show. You'll never see the same effects, but it will be called Unbelievable.
Okay.
And the reason it's called Unbelievable is that by the time you walk out of any theatre that you see the new show in, you'll literally go, that was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And that was the aim. So that was the sort of set out. That's how we set our stall out, and we went, right, now we need to make it.
Now, you two, you've had very long and illustrious careers. You both started really young. Both had quite prestigious things quite early. You're obviously the youngest person ever to join the Magic Circle.
Yeah, that was an amazing moment.
Yeah. I mean, my uncle has won Children's Entertainer of the Year in the Sussex Magic Circle many, many years.
I'm not that good.
That's the Sussex one, you know. And obviously you won Cameron McIntosh, Uncle Cameron's Young Performer of the Year, Young Entertainer of the Year. Have you worked for Cameron?
Weirdly enough, I've done 9 West End musicals.
Yeah.
And I've never done one of Cameron's, which is weird. I won that in Malta.
Oh.
Because his mother's from Malta.
Yeah.
So when, this was back in the day, this was before my mum, I think GMTV at the time was happening. And this was before X Factor. This was before all these reality shows as such. My mum entered me in for it. I was 16. And I won the Birmingham heat. I went to Birmingham and I won the Birmingham. And I sang Tom Jones's version of Kiss.
Amazing.
Seriously. And next minute, I went, well done, you've won. And you're winning a flight to Malta. And you're going to perform in Malta against all the other people from all the different regions.
Oh, amazing.
So all these people got up and they were singing these Cameron McIntosh big numbers and da-da-da-da. I got up in a pair of leather PVC pants.
Nice.
And a white T-shirt and sang Tom Jones's version of
Glorious.
Kiss. And that was it. And then I landed and I got a phone call from Amanda Thompson at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, who offered me my own show in Blackpool. And they went, we've got an idea. We want to put you, you're the youngest entertainer to have a show. And this was the time the Spice Girls had just kicked off. And the show was called Jonathan and the Space Girls.
And that's the first time I saw Jonny on the poster. Because when we like officially met, if you like, I said, I saw your poster because you did a show in Blackpool.
Yeah.
And because I remember, tell me if I'm right on this, you were a forefront and there were some girls behind you.
The Space Girls.
The Space Girls, yeah. What an act.
On top of the Noah's Ark.
What a show.
Noah's Ark in Blackpool.
How did it never reach Las Vegas?
I don't know. But what was funny at the time, you'd like this, is I used to go in that, I used to have to sing 28 songs a night.
Wow.
A night. It's 17, 18, you can imagine.
I struggle with 3 in Panto.
But there you go. 28 songs, and that's why then people say to me when I do musicals, oh, you must be, like, that's a doddle.
Yeah.
Doing a musical is a doddle compared to working in Blackpool in that time. And that was the time where people could smoke in the bars. So literally, and it was full of like just blokes having a fag and anything. I used to come off. And then this was the best, but at one point, there were a dancer short in the Mystique show with Richard DeVere down in the Mystique show in Blackpool. So I used to have to go and sing my songs.
Yeah.
And after the first show, I have to run all the way down to the horseshoe bar, get sawn off, and that's it, get back.
But this is the thing, right? Because people say, what's the secret of success? And I genuinely believe, first of all, you've got to have the talent to sustain it. That's a fact. Yeah. And people sometimes go, you need a lot of luck in entertainment. And there was a famous quote that David Jason said to Michael Parkinson. I don't know if I've ever told you this, but Michael Parkinson said to him, he said, you've been very lucky in your career, haven't you? And instantly David Jason replied, it's funny you should say that. He said, because the harder I work, the luckier I get. And it's true. So true. And I think to sustain a career, especially now with all reality TV shows and all that sort of stuff, you've got to know what you're doing. You can't coast anymore. No. There has been a lot of coasting, but you get found out too quick. And even going back to Jonny's days in Blackpool and my days, working around holiday resorts and that sort of stuff, you learn your craft. You do. And there's not many performers now. There's presenters, there's not many performers. Bradley Walsh, performer, Jonny, performer, myself, a performer. We can all present. But if you were to say to the average presenter nowadays, you need to get up and do 45 minutes. By the way, there's no script. There's no... 9 times out of 10, presenters of today will go, well, I just can't do it. And this is why I think what we've survived and, sustained our careers, thankfully, is we've been very kind, we're very generous, and also we do good jobs. I don't know where you've travelled and stuff, but magic for me, I started at the age of 11, and my dad taught me magic. Yeah. And magic is a universal thing, which is why for P&O Cruises it works a treat, because no matter where you're from, magic you can watch and you can enjoy. But my most memorable moment was I got an invite, which came through the door. Right, I'm not winding you up. There was a letter with the heading of Buckingham Palace. Amazing. And I was like, no, someone's having a joke. This ain't a deck again, isn't it? And I read it, and I remember phoning my parents, and I went, I've had an invite to Buckingham Palace. and the Queen's having tea, and there's a little booklet, and I flicked through the booklet. It was really small, and it had like Trevor McDonald, Joanna Lumley, Stephen Fry, and I was looking through my name, and it wasn't in alphabetical order, and my name was there, and I was like Rowan Atkinson, and all of these people. Anyway, the day came, all dressed up, and a car came and picked me up. It was like a dream. Arrived at Buckingham Palace. I still didn't believe any of it. Walked in, and it was just a sea of who's who. And still to this day, I have no idea how or why I was invited. But the following year, I got invited to appear on the Royal Variety Show. Oh, and so I would say...
Did you do any close-up magic for the Queen?
I didn't do any, but I met her afterwards because, without, self-praise is no praise, but I'm the only magician in the world who has appeared on the Royal Variety Show 3 times. Yeah. So I met her afterwards, and she said I was a very amusing young man. Oh. So that was amazing. That was great. And then following year, it was Prince William and Harry. They stood in for the Queen. And then the final year was Prince William and Kate. Oh. So, been really, really fortunate to do a lot. But listen, your talent's taken you everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah, listen, I've been very lucky. I've done some amazing jobs, I did still back in 2006, which actually is quite an iconic year for me in a weird way. My son was born in 2006, Mickey. I also created Soccer Aid in 2006. Yes, you did. Which we've now raised over 100 million.
That is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, Soccer Aid's become a huge, massive, thought we would do a one-off. And then in 2006, me and Robbie did the biggest world tour still to this day, tickets ever sold.
Oh, wow.
Over 5.5 million people came to watch the 2006 tour.
I remember seeing you perform.
Crazy.
You did
Me and My Shadow.
Me and My Shadow.
We did Me and My Shadow.
That was amazing.
We used to go and do Me and My Shadow, and then I did the song Strong, and I used to kick footballs in the crowd. How mad's that?
Rod Stewart did that in Vegas.
Yeah, and I remember doing Hockenheim. We did Hockenheim racetrack in Germany, and there was 180,000 people there.
Oh, wow.
So that's a different level, isn't it?
And then we went to South America and we played the Azteca in Mexico, and that was like 160,000 people.
Wow.
And the craziest thing is when you do in Argentina, it was in Buenos Aires, everybody's got this incredible jet black hair there. Yeah. And they love to stand close to one another. So when you looked out, it just looked like a whole sea of hair. Wow. It was amazing.
Hair raising.
Hair amazing. So 2006 was a big...
Hold the laughter.
I laughed.
Tough crowd. There was an amazing year for me, 2006. And like Soccer Aid still continues. Yeah. Which is crazy, isn't it?
It's amazing.
When you mentioned about booting the balls into the audience, I saw somebody from Gillingham Football Club boot a signed footballer into the audience, and it pelted somebody in the face.
It's bad.
Oh, God. Yeah. So you've got Buenos Aires, Blackpool, Buckingham Palace, Butlins. Where's the worst place you've been with your career?
Hull.
I have.
Hull, I've done Hull.
See? Would you do it again? 3, 2, 1.
No. Listen, Hull's lovely.
Yeah, and the people from Hull are lovely.
Yeah, they're lovely.
Why won't we go back?
This is God's honest truth. I'm glad you just said that. I remember doing a show in 2008, and it was a Wednesday matinee in Hull. Right? This is God's honest truth. And I love the theatre.
What show was this? Obviously,
this was 2008. I got a feeling it was The Wedding Singer.
Okay.
I think I was doing The Wedding Singer, or it could have been doing. Yes, he was. This was the great story. Wedding Singer, and I remember turning up and it wasn't selling great. All of a sudden, I remember the company manager said, it's Wednesday matinee in Hull. I went, how many's in? He went, there's only 200 in. 200, and it was about 1,500 seater in Hull. I was thinking, oh God. And it was a Wednesday, it was horrible outside. I was missing my wife, I was missing my children, my boy. Yeah. I looked at myself in the mirror going, what am I doing? What am I doing here? I need to get home. I just want to go home. But that work ethic, get on there, show must carry on. Yeah. I go on, and within about 10 minutes, about 150 people just stood up and left.
It's your wedding day.
And left.
What did they think they were watching?
They thought they'd pay to come and watch the jazz singer. Oh. Not the wedding singer, the jazz singer. Ah. So all these people just got up and left. Oh, no. But didn't even make it, they weren't subtle about it. No, come on, we're off. Oh, and left with 50 people. And it was just like, what are we doing?
Oh, God.
This is awful. So I put that down as one of the worst days of my life on stage.
I'm trying to think of a bad
You must have
one.
had some balters.
Well, yeah, I have. Yeah, it's. I'm trying to think of the worst. My worst moment of my entire life. I think I was invited to go on Blue Peter.
Very prestigious.
I was only 19, right? And they said they were doing a celebration of Harry Houdini and the anniversary of his death. So they wanted me to perform one of his most dangerous tricks, which was called the Metamorphosis. Now, some of you may have seen it. And the idea is your assistant gets inside the box, you stand on top, you shake the hoop.
We do it astonishing?
We do it astonishing, yeah. But you throw the hoop up and they switch places at speed of light.
Okay.
All right? Now, I didn't do the illusion myself, but a friend of mine did.
Yeah.
But I wanted a Blue Peter badge.
Yeah.
So I phoned my friend. I went, listen, how quick can you show me how to do it? He went, I can learn it in a day. Practice, practice, practice. At that time, I was really influenced by Chris Evans.
Right.
And he was on a show called Don't Forget Your Toothbrush, but he always wore these amazing suits. And I'd saved up and I had a canary yellow suit.
Right.
Oh, what a treat.
Oh, and I don't dance, hence why Jonny looks after all that side of things. But they wanted a little dance at the start. So imagine this. I'm in a canary yellow suit. I open a live TV show that's at the time watched by at least 8 million people. I danced to Could It Be Magic? And I remember me doing that move, right? And there is footage of it. So I get in the box. She handcuffs me up, a lovely girl called Victoria, and she stands on top of the box. So we switched it about. And as in the heat of just it being live, and I can still hear duh, 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 duh. I was banging these handcuffs to get them off, and they wouldn't come off. So I couldn't get out of the box. And the music's going, it's all time. At the very last minute, the handcuffs come off. I get out. I nearly fall off the box. Then Tor gets inside, and then we finally finish. I'm sweating. It was just horrific. The only thing there is, honestly, it was so bad, Jonny.
Oh, that's brilliant.
But I got the badge.
You got your badge?
And the truth of it is, I don't need to pay to go into any museum still to this day.
Is that one of the perks that comes?
You know what I mean?
It's amazing when you're on stage, right, and all of a sudden you go wrong. I don't know if you've ever done this. You've done pantomime,
yes.
right? You've obviously done a lot of shows on stage. You have an instant sweat.
Yeah.
It's horrible. I remember doing it once and completely forgetting the lyrics of a song and just busking my way through it. I remember doing Cinderella. I was doing Cinderella at the time. And I was singing Dancing Through Life from Wicked. And I used to say to Cinderella, I was buttons, I used to say, watch this. And he'd go, dancing through life, skimming the surface. And that's what I used to do and go do that. And at that point, I forgot everything. And I just went, dancing through life, salamahula, shalamahula, hee. And she looked at me and go,
See, if you'd have done that in Hull, that'd have come back.
Yes. I had, when I did Panto with Sean Smith from Same Difference, not One Direction, from Same Difference. And obviously all the sound cues were all loaded in. And there was like a village scene, and then it was our love duet. So on the village scene, the king grabbed the dame's cheeks and it went, He did it, it didn't come out. Okay, it didn't come out, whatever. Obviously, it was still the next loaded. So as the love duet started, it was the clown horn.
Oh, no.
So then the love duet started with both of us and all the audience, luckily, weren't singing, just laughing. I did the full dance routine, but I was just belly laughing the whole way through. Couldn't sing at all.
Nothing worse, is it?
Do you know, talking of things going wrong, there's an amazing story that Dame Judi Dench tells about when she was in a play in West London, right? And so she's in the West End and she forgets her lines. So the phone rings and she's meant to have a conversation with herself as though somebody, so she's learning two people's, right, okay. And she literally freezes and she just doesn't know what to do. But there's another actor on stage and all she did was she went, "It's for you." Yeah. And then just left the stage. See, that's amazing. So if you mess up, just get somebody else.
Get through
just get off.
I think there's nothing better than the times I've been on stage when you see somebody go wrong.
Yeah.
I find it hilarious.
And they get outs.
Oh, it's true. And I love it sometimes. I shouldn't really say this. When a dancer's dancing full on and they fall. It's just cracks me up.
Yeah, especially when it's a proper slide.
Yeah, real good one. Yeah.
But talking of nightmare moments, see now they're all coming back.
Yeah.
I did a show. Do you remember the Paradise Rooms?
Yes, upstairs.
Yes,
in Blackpool. This was Blackpool.
Yes, so I hadn't played Blackpool, but obviously, listen, people, like many things in this world, they go Blackpool. They go, listen, it was the mecca of entertainment, and still has a beautiful feeling when you go there. So I'm doing this show, and the finale of my act is I've got a big bubblegum machine, right, which has got a cloth on it. And the idea of the routine is you get somebody up on the stage and you say, have you got a £5, a £10 or a £20 note? They give you some money. You get them to sign their notes. So there's not two of them in the world. You do a comedy routine. You burn their money. You go, listen, what we're going to do? It's funny. And then you go, but don't worry. Look, whip off the cloth, big bubblegum machine. There's £1. Have a bubblegum on me. The lady puts it in, or the guy. Bubblegum comes out, bite it in half. They bite it in half, and inside is their signed note. An amazing trick.
How'd you do it?
Big finale.
That is unbelievable.
Exactly. So this guy, I get up on stage. Nice to see you. Who are you here with? I'm here with my wife. Lovely stuff. You having a good time? Yeah, having a great time. Okay, you got any money? £5, a £10 or a £20 note? He said, yeah, I've got a tenner. I said, now perfect. Now, as I go to get him to sign it, all I can hear is, and this lady is walking on the stage. She's got the guts to come on the stage, and she walks up to him. She goes, "Where'd you get that from? You never had that this afternoon when I wanted burger." She then, Johnny, she hits him, right? Takes the money from me, walks off, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. He's mortified as well. God. So I go, I can't beat that. That's the end of the show. Good luck to you. Thanks for watching. Good night. And just leave, and then he's walking up to his own footsteps.
My gosh!
Honestly, and she didn't even say when I wanted a hamburger. You never had that when I wanted burger. Yeah.
So like the bubblegum machine trick, is that right? Now I'm not au fait with magic apart from like rabbits up hat, like kids magician, obviously uncle's magician, every birthday.
Right.
Yeah.
Status quo. So like these big tricks. Obviously you said like Harry Houdini's metamorphosis trick and stuff. Like, do you make tricks up, or is there like a spell book?
Well, the reality is, this is interesting you say this, right? Because the magic community is quite not an odd community, but their job is to keep secrets.
Yeah.
And
they're a load of liars.
Magic circle.
So you need to come up with different routines, and you need to come up with different ways of doing stuff. So some magicians will do the bubblegum trick one way. I'll do it another way to try and fool them as well as fool the audience. But the reality is that when people come and see our shows, we don't mind magicians coming to our shows because we make sure we do things different to other people.
Okay.
So we're not there to fool magicians, but when it does happen, it's a massive bonus. So yeah, all of the tricks that we do and perform and get built are all bespoke to our shows. Yeah. So we'll take a method and put it into a different routine.
But what I love, and when I watch magic,
and
when we watch Astonishing, is when you listen to the audience, and there's some of them audience members in their head, they know how it's done. Yeah. They are completely they'll turn to the wall and go, well, you know that's done, don't you?
Yeah.
And you hear it, and it's not.
No.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the beauty of magic. Everybody has their interpretation of how it's done.
Yeah.
How is it done? But that's the beauty of it. You know, it's magic. It's incredible.
What's your favourite trick to watch?
Those who've seen Astonishing, I love our levitation.
Okay.
I think levitation's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I also love metamorphosis.
Yeah, but
which is fantastic.
I'm going to tell you my favourite trick, which we couldn't, to be brutally honest, we couldn't afford to put in Astonishing.
Yeah.
Which is the sawing the lady in half. But this is why it's unbelievable, because we do it with clear boxes.
Oh wow!
So you can see everything, and for years and years, magicians have done it. Hence why it's the most famous illusion in the world. But you see everything. There is nothing to hide. And when you see it, it's one of those moments where you'll go, how does it work? It's unbelievable. It's so easy to keep saying. It's true, though.
I'm excited to see it.
Me too.
I'll tell you an unbelievable moment I had, by the way, not name dropping, but when I was doing a show called Britain's Got More Talent, and it was like a spin-off to Britain's Got Talent. So when you finish watching that, you'd turn over and watch that. Simon Cowell brought his boy in, Eric, and he went, Stevie, show Eric a trick. I don't know why he calls me Stevie, but whatever. And I wasn't really prepared for it. I didn't even know his boy was coming. And it was only about maybe 3 or 4. So I've got a coin, I've got a 50p out of my pocket, made it vanish, and then made it reappear inside his ear. What did Eric say? Can I keep it? Who's your dad?
Wow.
I love that.
But they're the moments that, you know, I know I said the story about, you know, lucky. There is a tiny bit of luck, but I do also think in entertainment, especially, you make your own luck.
You've got to make your own luck, and you know, it's. I think hard work. We have a saying at our college: hard work will always outdo lazy talent, and that's the truth. I have so many students. Sometimes they'll come who are so talented, but if they haven't put the work in, the hard work, eventually, that lazy talent gets caught up by hard work, and that's what happens.
What would you say is your best job you ever done?
Best musical I've ever done.
Yeah. Let's categorise.
Okay,
musicals.
My best ever musical I've ever done, and my best character I've ever played is Frankenfurter in Rocky Horror.
Amazing.
And I did a 6-month run in the West End of the Queen's Theatre. I loved it. And I remember as a kid loving the Rocky Horror Show. I remember there was red lips on the screen. I mean, it was one of those shows when you were a kid and you went, oh, this is naughty. I'm allowed to watch this. And Tim Curry as Frankenfurter was one of the most iconic roles ever. So I remember doing that, and I did the 30th anniversary of that. Still the best job I've ever done.
What special have you ever done?
I think it was when I got my first job in kids TV. And I'll tell you why it was. That was like 20, maybe 26 years ago. And it was live, and it was doing the continuity announcing for CITV. So you'd go, now on CITV, it's time for Sabrina the Teenage Witch. And that's stuff. But the reason why I said my favourite job is their audition process was really hard, because they did like a Big Brother thing, but with kids. Oh. So rather than the producers picking, they allowed the kids, they had a little school of kids, which is a clever idea. Yeah. But that's where the magic came in so handy, because they had all the other presenters, but I was doing magic as well. And I think that's what turned the tables. And so magic for me has just helped in every step of the way. And here's a little secret. Every live TV show I do, whether it's Saturday Night Takeaway, whether it's, you know, Britain's Got More Talent, any live TV, whether it's going on this morning to promote the new show of Unbelievable, I'll always have a pack of playing cards. Yeah. Because if anything goes wrong, I know I can get myself out of trouble. Stephen is without a doubt the best guest you will ever invite to a dinner party.
Yeah.
No, that's the truth. Yeah. Right?
Anecdotes, magic tricks.
Oh, it's just because at some point, if the conversation's going a bit dull, I can look at Stephen and go, have you? Go on. Yeah. And he will literally...
Get your deck out. Yeah. Deck of cards.
Deck of cards. He will literally do half an hour, and it's just... And still to this day, it blows me away. I mean, he literally... I love it. And I get a bit proud going, go on, Steve, show him that one. Do that one. Yeah. So, yeah, he's the best. He is the best. If you want to invite anybody to your dinner, although he doesn't like much food, but because he's the plainest eater in the world, by the way. I mean,
now get some rice.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I'll say, try that. I'm not eating that. I go just try it. No, I'm not eating it. And he go, what you want to go? Have a burger. You know, burger and chips.
Have burger.
I'm now in a relationship with that woman from Blackpool.
Because you gave her the time for the burger.
I mean, that Deck used to do a thing where they made Stephen try things. Yeah. Do you know what he did once? This is one of my favourite stories, right? It was a festival. Yeah. And there were oysters coming around. Yeah. Oysters. And Ant's gone, come on, let's get Stephen to do one of these. He's not going to do one of them. He's not going to do one. Anyway, we made Stephen do an oyster. He left.
I had to.
He had to go home. And he didn't come back.
But also, you missed out a tiny little point that they put Tabasco sauce on it, and they're all going, just neck it. So I did, and not only was it revolting, just in case people are eating whilst I'm watching this, it wasn't a nice situation, but also it burnt my lips. My lips felt like those big truck tyres that are just huge. I just went, So I had to go home. And it was the most amazing event, and it was ruined by, what was it, an oyster? An oyster, yeah.
Did you know that if you get spicy food, apparently you're supposed to like fill your mouth with salt?
Really?
but because then it takes away like the spice. And my best friend was just on her honeymoon, and she was eating this curry, and it was fine, this leaf in the bottom of the curry, and she ate it, and she said it literally felt like my mouth's on fire. So she grabbed the salt pot, undid the lid, and did it. But obviously abroad they have to put rice in the salt, don't they?
Oh, yeah,
So she literally had a mouthful of like rice and salt. Then she didn't know where to spit. She said, yeah. So just don't eat it, I would say.
You've got a bit more adventurous now, haven't you?
Yeah, I can now have from my Chinese takeaway, I can have chicken balls.
Need some sort. Honestly, I love this game with Steve, right? You go, do you want a ham sandwich? Never had ham.
No,
Never had ham.
I've only had ham in the last 2 years.
What's that?
Can I just explain
Right,
this?
yeah.
Okay, let's just explain this so everybody doesn't go, it's a little bit odd. So
It is a bit odd.
My parents are market traders.
Right.
Okay, so I grew up working on the market.
Yeah.
I've got 2 brothers and a sister, and we all had to work on the market. Not had to. It was great, and it was in the famous Petticoat Lane. And it's where I first learned how to talk to people.
Yeah.
Because you had to. It was like a form of art to demonstrate things like the potato peel. Like peel a potato in 100 different ways. Who needs that? Do you only want to peel a potato? But because it, diced and sliced and blah. So that was that. So growing up in the market, it was very plain food: steak and chips, fish and chips, egg and chips. Whatever with chips, very plain. Somebody said to me the other day, I'll tell you who said it, Emma Willis. She went, they should do a show about you, do a food show, she went, called 50 Shades of Beige. Yeah. We don't talk anymore anyway, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Stephen and Chips. It's just
Stephen and Chips, there
Stephen
you go.
And Chips, there you go.
What would you, if you had one dinner? Sorry, I'm making
that's
the
all right.
questions up for
Go
you.
on.
Amy.
Do it.
I'm going to ask you this.
Okay.
One dinner, one plate, and that's it. It's it. You unfortunately, you're not
Forever.
here the next day. You're dead. What's your last dinner?
Oh, it's my mum's roast dinner.
A roast dinner.
Yeah.
Is that beef?
Beef or Johnny?
Or Johnny?
Or
Beef or Johnny? What?
well, lamb?
Do you like lamb?
My mum's lamb.
Oh,
I will
just
not eat
yours.
lamb anywhere else
Why?
because it's not made by my mum.
Amy?
Mine would be, have you been to Gallagher's Steakhouse in New York?
Oh yeah, because that's a regular one for everybody, isn't it?
No, but I'm saying, have you been there? You've been to New York? Have you been to Gallagher's?
No, I haven't
Okay.
been to
You're
Gallagher's.
talking to you like a New Yorker.
I know.
You haven't been.
This is
Chef's
one for the folks at home.
Not Gallagher's, and any steakhouse. I love like a proper like rib of beef. And what I used to do when I used to be cabin crew, I used to get like a steak, and they had the foil on top.
Yeah.
So I used to get like the steak that had already been cooked and had been in the oven for like 3 hours while I've been working. Get that, turn the foil over, put it in, then get a piece of Stilton off of one of the cheese boards, put it on the top, wrap the foil round, and then put it back in the oven for 5 minutes. And then have cheesy beef. Cheese and beef.
Kind of sounds absolutely disgusting.
With the gravy on top.
Absolutely. And gravy.
Yeah. Well, the jus.
And then a couple of days off work.
My favourite game as well also is one or the other, right? This is my favourite game, right? If you choose this, you can't have the other one forever again for the rest of your life. So if I would say to you, chicken or beef?
Beef.
Beef.
So you're never going to have chicken again for the rest of your life?
Chicken's
You thought
boring.
about that, have you?
Yeah.
Okay, so if we go crisp, salt and vinegar or cheese and onion?
Oh, salt and vinegar.
Salt and vinegar.
See, I'm salt and vinegar. Yeah, okay. Shower or bath?
Shower.
You're never having a bath again?
I can't stand having a bath.
Really?
The effort.
Yeah, shower now. Got a baby.
Really?
I haven't got time for baths anymore.
Now here's the controversial one where people get wrong.
Right.
Underpants, underwear, or socks?
It's got to be socks.
Socks.
Exactly, well done, because your feet would stink forever.
Yeah. So in every one we got right.
Yeah.
No,
That's a
it's
great
your-
game.
One. Yeah, great game. Thank
No,
you.
it's your opinions. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Chinese food or Indian food?
Chinese.
See, I'm an Indian.
Chinese,
I keep
yeah.
Indian food.
You asked earlier where your
Yeah.
career's taking you and
Yeah.
stuff. I'm currently doing my own stage tour, and we've got a driver called Tony. And
Right.
the only reason we have a driver is because by the time we've done 3 shows,
Yeah.
then we go on to the next venue. And he said to me the other day, he said, oh, Steve, I've just got to let you know that I had a nightmare the other day. I said, well, why is that? He said, I had a kebab. I said, that's all right. You can have a kebab. He said, no, it's what happened is the problem. So he said he was halfway through having his kebab and he forgot to get a drink. So he went back into the kebab shop to get a drink. but he couldn't remember where he'd put his kebab down when he came out. So he's looking for his kebab, and he put it on the curb, right? Bear with me on this. Anyway, he finishes kebab, right, because he doesn't want to eat it in the car. Then he gets in his car, it's on the dashboard. He's hit someone's half-eaten kebab on the street.
But I would see that. I like to see a positive in every situation. So I would see, I've eaten the dirty old kebab now. At least I've still got half of one left.
Whack a bit of Stilton on it, bit of crack, lovely jubbly.
She loves all that, don't you?
Yeah.
So where is your travel bucket list?
Ooh, good question.
Well, I cannot wait to go to the Caribbean.
I can't wait for you.
I've never been there.
Never been?
No,
He's
never been there.
I can't wait for him to go.
And it is, listen, it's a massive bonus that obviously we get to visit there for the show, but also just to see what it's all like.
You love it.
Yeah.
I love the Caribbean. I love the Caribbean.
And I love on a cruise, but like I always say to people, so when I was cabin crew, I used to go to sort of St. Lucia and Barbados, and I'd spend sort of 4 days in each of them. And I would say with a cruise, it's like, you know, like a food court in a shopping mall with the free samples. So you do a few laps first to get the free samples, then you decide what you're going to actually buy for your lunch. It's a bit like that because you get to spend like 1 day in each place, and then you might be like, oh, I love that place, I'll go there for a week.
I always say to people, if you've never cruised before, I say, if you had one shot, where should we go? I say, do the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Do the Caribbean. I said, because you will not regret it, and every single place is brilliant. And the vibe, and it's just, I love it. So so you want to go Caribbean?
Caribbean, yeah.
I want to go Japan. Never been Japan.
My brother's just been there for his
Japan.
for his honeymoon.
Honeymoon in Japan?
Yes. Because they did
normally like Benidorm or something like that.
No, because they did like a once in a lifetime thing. They did. So they did. You can play Mario Kart on the streets of Japan. So basically, you get given a selection of Mario onesies.
Wow.
And then you literally have a go-kart on the actual streets of Japan.
Wow.
It's mad. Now, we've all been on a P&O Cruises holiday, and we all have that moment, that penny drop moment, that in for a penny drop moment.
Love it.
Very good.
Where we go, this is why I'm here, this is why I want to come back. What was yours?
I can remember vividly arriving at the ship and first of all seeing the size of it, because I'd only ever seen the ships on TV, but then walking on and just heading to the reception and just literally taking a moment. It blew my mind. The size, the scale, just how grand it was. And I was just like, my mum has always wanted to be on a cruise. It was my first cruise I'd ever been on. And it was like, right, if there's anything I'm going to do, I'm going to get my mum onto a cruise.
Yeah, I think my penny drop moment was actually, I have to say it again, was being in the Caribbean on Arvia.
Yeah.
And I was sat out the back on the Sunset Bar on deck 7.
Yes.
I think I want to say. And it was, we were pulling out of one of the ports. I've got a feeling it was Antigua. And the sun was just coming down. It was beautiful, the most amazing sunset. I got a beer in my hand. I got all my friends around me that we just installed the show, which was Festival on Arvia. And I looked around and I saw all of these people just with smiles on their faces, having a good time with their friends. And you hear that belly laughter of people. It's one of the nicest sounds in the world. Just looked around and went, everybody's having a great time here. This is lovely. And it felt like a massive warm hug. That was my penny drop moment.
Amazing. So now we're coming to the end of the podcast. Absolutely loved having you both today.
I really enjoyed this.
It's
been really
so
good.
much. Now I have one last segment that I have to do, and I have my notes here because it's a bit lengthy. So you've been gifted the holiday of your dreams. Now,
Yes.
This is.
Thank you.
And this is a completely imaginary thing. So there are no bounds. There are no bounds. So where are you going?
I've got to stick with the Caribbean because I've never been. It's like it's a dream for me.
Okay, you're going to Caribbean. Where are you going?
I'm going from Southampton to Australia.
Okay. Ooh. Right, who are you going to take with you?
I can't not
Can
say
you do that on a cruise?
Yes.
Yes, the World Cruise.
Yes, World Cruise.
Arcadia.
Yeah.
I'm changing mine.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on a world cruise.
Okay.
That's it, so you get to see it all.
Oh, thank you.
Who am I taking with me? I'm going to have to take my family, obviously, aren't I?
And I will take my parents.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do? What kind of excursions?
Eat. And I mean, you can do some serious eating on them ships.
Yes.
See, that was the other thing that blew my mind, right? Was just the sea of food. It just looks like a postcard.
Yeah. And on a sea day, you're like, right, I've had some lunch. We've got afternoon tea in an hour. You finish afternoon tea, you're like, oh, but for dinner in an hour and a half.
I met a guy once in the laundry room. ironing his trousers.
Oh, no.
I was ironing my shirt.
Oh, no.
And it was on the World Cruise.
You were ironing your shirt?
No, it was on Aurora.
Yeah.
And I went, yeah, have you having a good time? Because it was 110 days on the cruise.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he went, I've had a great time. I'm having a great time. He said, hey, I'm on my 3rd pant size now. He brought on 3 different size trousers.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because he knew.
Small, medium and large.
He knew he was going to put on. I said, how much have you put on? He went, a couple of stone.
Yeah. We've just been to Spain for 3 weeks, and my dad said at the end, he went, that's the great thing about holiday, the belt becomes surplus to requirements.
Wow. But can you imagine that bloke walking off the ship? They check his... Yours?
And I love it about cruise passengers because, you know, when you get on there, they paid for it, they aren't missing a meal.
No.
No,
Pay for
no,
it,
no,
haven't
no,
it?
no,
No,
no.
no, no.
They are not, and they still go up on the midnight buffet.
Yeah. Okay, so your favourite restaurant have said they'll fly in a team to cook you whatever you want. What are you eating?
Well, I'm definitely having...
Bread, butter,
Thank you.
chips.
That's the starter. And then I'm going to have fillet steak. Beautiful.
And he even has it medium rare now.
I do now.
Oh.
Yeah, I used to have it well done. Now medium rare.
And he likes a peppercorn sauce
Peppercorn sauce, thank you.
and an onion ring.
Beautiful. And a little tomato on the side. Because I'm classy.
Now, he will hate what I choose. I'm having Japanese food. I'm
Nice.
having sushi.
And I'm watching. Going, how could he?
Your favourite entertainer or band, now these can be anyone dead or alive, is available to perform.
Oh,
Who are you going to
dead
have?
or alive?
Yeah.
Could you imagine going for do all that and then you go and watch the Rat Pack? Sammy, Frank and Dino in their prime doing the Summit. Amazing.
Amazing.
So, how about this one then? We do a warm-up act, medium act, finale.
Right.
Finale, Elvis.
Right?
Yeah.
Good.
Before that, Copperfield
In his prime.
in his prime. And the start act between Gary Barlow and Harry Styles. I've done 4 there.
Really?
It's a big night.
It's a big night.
It's a big night of
Would you
entertainment.
not slip Siegfried and Roy in there?
Ooh, see, this is hard, isn't it?
I'd pay.
Would you?
I went to see Siegfried and Roy in Vegas.
do?
Yeah.
They made an elephant disappear. How would you make an elephant disappear? That's amazing, right?
Oh my God, that
and,
is-
then I bumped into him a couple of years later in the Beverly Hills Hotel in Los Angeles. How showbiz am I, Amy Hart?
You're so showbiz.
Another quick story, quick.
Really quick one. Right.
So Doug Henning,
right?
people may go, who's Doug Henning? Very, very famous magician of old school years. And he did his first ever live TV magic show, which was a lesson to everybody. Don't do live TV magic shows. So he opens his big box. He starts putting this big box together. He goes, and I can't do an American accent, but he goes, tonight, live on TV, I'm going to make something huge appear. And as he's saying it, all you hear is, ah! And he then goes, watch. Yeah, never do a
And
live
then
TV
surprise,
magic show.
surprise, it was
Yeah.
an elephant.
Oh, was that an elephant impression?
It was a horse.
Oh, good.
But thank you so much for joining
It's
me
been
today.
brilliant.
It's been
Loved it.
amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for watching today's podcast. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a comment below and tell me what your favourite part was. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, the notification bell so you never miss anything, and of course, give it a like if you did.